from you. Good morning, everybody. This is Stacy Turner from our DMOpro Zoom. We're so excited to have you here this Monday morning. Just a couple Mondays left in this whole year. Isn't that crazy? My goodness, it feels like it's gone by fast, especially the last couple of months. So lots of good things happening. And I'm going to mute everyone, and then I'm going to have Lisa unmute herself so she can share with us. She was just telling us how she got her DMO planner and how it's changing everything. So I'm like, we want to hear, let's hear. So go ahead, Miss Lisa.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so I just bought the DMO planner. I'm extremely ADHD and I have, two regular jobs, one as a nurse and another on a blog. So trying to keep everything straight is like impossible. Plus my network marketing, I would really like to grow. So this way I can plan things and see where everything is. And also I love the fact that it's network marketing and I don't have to be ashamed of it. And your product is designed to help me with that. So that really changes things for me. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Lisa. So good to hear from you. I'm glad you're finding it helpful already. And that's a perfect segue into what I was wanting to talk about today, because I was thinking about, like, what is the definition of our type of business? And we have different things that we say, that we're a mix of 4 different type of businesses. Specifically within our Juice Plus company, we talk about being network marketing, multi-level marketing. We've got corporate, some of the corporate side of things, and then like being a business owner, like an entrepreneur. So I looked up the definition of entrepreneur because I did hear our CEO say that we teach entrepreneurship and health. And I thought, I like that. I like the idea of being an entrepreneur, and I definitely feel like I'm an entrepreneur, even from the time I was little, doing lemonade stands or quilting lessons, as an early, in my early 20s. I've always had sort of this business mindset in a lot of different ways. But I looked up the definition of entrepreneur, and it says a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so. So I thought, does that take, is that us? Does that define us? Because, excuse my voice today too, taking on greater than normal financial risk, like, we're not on the financial side, right? Because we're $52 a year. I don't have to pay for rent in a building to have this business. My Airbnb, we had to put in, money into that. We had to buy the house and then we had to upgrade the house. So we did put significant money in there. So it was a financial risk we were taking on this Airbnb in this tiny town. Like, would we have people that would want to live there, to stay there? Like, who comes to Artesia to stay, which is what people ask me all the time, but we have done really well with it. So an entrepreneur, typically they are putting money in. I think about my husband's business where he's having to put in significant, like sometimes their inventory or what materials and stuff they have to buy can be like $500,000 orders. Like, okay, that's significant investment of money to get the payout that people are going to buy. It is a risk, right? So on that side of it, we don't have a financial risk going into our Juice Plus business. I would say the risk that we have, the greater than normal, like, mental risk and like what we think about and how much of that plays in it. I wonder if we did invest $500,000 or $120,000 into our Juice Plus business, into our network marketing business, how much more serious would we take it? If there was some risk there, I think because we have it so good in so many ways that it's easy on, the financial side, that you don't feel as much of like, this is a business that I need to make sure that I keep this going, and I'm going to get my money, return on my investment. I mean, you get your return on your investment on your own trio order. like you get the money back. It's instant, with our type of business. So, there are other network marketing businesses that have packages where you're going to have to buy in at $2,500 or different things like that. And I just wonder how much more serious you would take it if it was that much of a financial investment. Now, I don't think I would have been interested in that when I'm thinking back when I was, 24. And maybe I think that's the difference, is we're attracting a type of person that has a heart for others, that really wants to help, that has had a good experience with Juice Plus, that sees the value, that wants to tell other people, but might not necessarily be business minded and entrepreneurship minded. And it's fine, right? Like, what does Wendy Campbell tell us? She says, you're a blessing whether you share Juice Plus a little bit or a lot, which is absolutely true. We get to decide. We don't have quotas that we have to sell. We don't have to stock the product, right? I don't have a ton of inventory that I had to buy, and then I try to sell that to somebody else from my pantry. Nobody pays us directly. I don't have friends that give me cash and checks. They order directly from the company. I can have customers all over the US, right? Because I don't have a territory that I have to sell under. So anyone, because they're ordering it directly from the company, we can have customers and team members all over, not just in the United States, but in like 22 plus different countries. So a very different type of business model. And I think it's going to take a different mindset for those of us that are really wanting to move forward and do this as a business. So let me read to you what the definition of network marketing is. So this says network marketing is a business model. So business model that depends on person-to-person sales by independent representatives. So often working from home, a network marketing business may require you to build a network of business partners or salespeople to assist with lead generation and closing sales. So I just want to break this down a little bit into chunks, and let's go over what does that look like? What does that mean? And then how does that apply to us? So network marketing is a business model. So let's just stop there. I did say business. Let's think about that. Like, if we want it to pay us like a business, we've got to treat it like a business, right? So, I'll also say I have friends, like one gal opened a Pilates studio that I went to high school with. 4 years later, no, it was 2 years later. 2 years later, I talked with her and I said, how's your business going? And she had a storefront and she had all these machines in there. And she said, it's good. We have a good clientele. And I just paid myself last week. And I was like, what do you mean you just paid yourself? And she said, for 2 years, all of the money that I've made has been invested back in the business to pay off the equipment, to pay the rent, to pay the other employees, if I can find someone to hire. And so this last week, I just was able to pay myself. And I was shocked. Really, 2 years. How many of us would work our Juice Plus business for 2 years without zero paycheck? None of us had to, right? And none of our new people have to. But why was she willing to do that? She had invested a lot, and that was something she was interested in. And by the way, she's not in business anymore. I don't know what she did with all of that equipment. Less than 5 years and she was out. So if she wasn't there, if the door wasn't open, if classes weren't being held, she wasn't making money. And even if those things were happening, she wasn't even making money. Just down the street was a friend of ours who bought a franchise. It was a bread franchise, like a bread company, like a little cafe. I forget what the name of it was, but significant money to get into that. 10 years later, she sold it for what she put into it. She worked her tush off 10 years and had just barely begun to make a salary. She had paid her employees and she had paid for the equipment. She paid for all the things, right? So she wasn't losing money, but she basically volunteered her time for 10 years. That's I was like, that dedication. And she was worn out after 10 years. She was done. She sold the franchise and they pretty much broke even. And I was like, oh, that is so hard. So this is a type of business model. We do have franchise business models, right? You have a traditional storefront business model, like what my husband has, making industrial gaskets. You have online marketing businesses. That's a business model. You have sales business models. There's different types of business models. One isn't better or worse than the other. They're just different. And so recognizing this as a true business model, as a legitimate business model, is really important in your mind, because that's going to come across when you're talking to other people. How confident are you that you are a business owner? Or is this just something you kind of do, on the side? Oh yeah, I kind of sell Juice Plus, and it's, something else that you do. Or when you're talking to people and they ask you, what do you do? Whatever you say you do is where the conversation is going to go. Have you ever noticed that? So if I say, well, I used to be a dental assistant and I'm a mom of 3 and I help people get healthy, they're going to go probably with one of the first 2 first, right? Because I help people get healthy is probably too vague to really be able to start a conversation without saying, what do you do? Unless they have a real interest in being healthy, right? But they'll say, oh, 3 kids, how old are they? Or dental assisting. I go to the dentist and I have a dental assistant. The conversation is going to go that direction. So if you're a teacher and you say, I teach 5th grade and I help people get healthy, they're going to say, oh, how long have you taught 5th grade? Right? So they're going to go back to that, which is fine. Just know whatever you implant in there is probably what they're going to ask and start the conversation. Do you see this as just something you do on the side? And for many of you, and like Lisa just told us, she has multiple things, which is very common now. Very common. Very few people have just one job, one career that they work at for 30 years. That's just kind of unheard of, especially to this new generation that's coming up and Gen Z. They can't even imagine being somewhere 5 years, much less 23 or, 30 years. So, people have multiple things that we're doing. So in conversation, especially this time of year, when people ask you, what do you do? Think about, where do you want that conversation to go? You can say, I'm a business owner. I partner with one of the health food companies, one of the largest health food companies in the world. There's different things. You just need to know, what is it that you're going to say, so that you have that really quickly on the tip of your tongue, and just say that, unless you want it to go to teaching or to mom or to whatever else you're doing, which is fine too. Just know this: if you're wanting to direct the conversation with intention, you need to have something that you say that puts you into the business world of, you own a business, okay? Or that you partnered with some company that does this company. Okay, so that's the first one. What is your mindset about business, that business model? So network marketing is a business model that depends on person-to-person sales. So person to person, that's our network. That's network marketing, right? Marketing through our network, through the people that we know. So who do you know? If people will say, well, I don't know that many people, get out your phone and look and see how many contacts you have in your phone. And then I would encourage you guys, just write a list A through Z and pick one person out of your contact list that starts with A, and put their name and write their name down, and then B, and then C. That's going to be 26, right? Is that how many letters we have in the alphabet? That's how many people you're going to have right away that you could reach out to in the next couple of weeks. It may not be a Juice Plus conversation, but just reach out to them. Maybe find them on Facebook, friend them if you're not friends with them, start a conversation with them, go back to their wall and find something, a picture, some vacation they went on, and start a conversation about that with them. Maybe they'll actually have some posting about health and concern about something, or they'll post about something that they've been struggling with. I don't know. Just go find them and start that conversation with them. I don't know what is wrong with my phone, and maybe some of you guys know, but it has all of my contacts duplicated to the point where I now have 32,000 contacts in my phone. So I would surely have a whole list of people, right? Like I took it to the iPhone store and they were like, I don't know, we've never seen this. I have no idea how to help you. So if I better find some people on that 32,000 list. It's a little bit crazy. So network marketing through our network of people. Who do we know? And then think about a network of, I know somebody, but you guys don't know my mom and you don't know my sister, right? You don't know my cousin Lisa. You don't know my neighbor Sonia. You don't know the girl I did a Bible study with, Amy. So that's my network of people. So when we're tapping into team, we're developing team and partners, we are helping them tap into their network of people, the people that they know and they have relationships with. And that's really a valuable aspect to us because we are person to person sales, right? It's my story, your story, their story. What is their health interest? What are their needs that they've got going on? It's person to person. And we can advertise. It just doesn't work. The company doesn't let us do it anyway. But even a friend of mine said, or one of my team members, I just want to put an ad in the paper and just kind of advertise myself as a health person. I won't mention Juice Plus. And I was like, you can, but I just don't see that works really well. But she teaches dance lessons. Chris, if you hear me, she listens to this often. She teaches dance lessons. And I was like, how much I think it would be better to advertise the dance lessons and then bring people into your network, get to know them, and then from there, go to lunch with them, go to coffee with them, invite them to your health events, like build into that network of people that have some sort of interest that you do. And so that's how we build networks. Some of them are built in, their family, their cousins, their, your mom, your dad, your sister. Some are, you might have a network of people at church that you have a network of people in your community that somehow you're connected to. What do you love to do? Go network in those things. Like I've said before, if you love pottery classes, go take a pottery class, go there, talk to the people that are there, network, market through that network of people that you meet in different areas of your life, because it is person to person sales. And then it says by independent representatives. So the end of the year, we get a 1099. We don't get a W-2. So that means Juice Plus is not taking taxes out of our paycheck. That's up to us. And it's something that we need to talk to our newer team, because we don't want them to be shocked, at the end of the year when they have a tax bill. This is a business, right? So that means as an independent representative, I have my own business. I have a ton of tax write-offs. There's some really great tax incentives, guys. If you get a new computer, write that baby off. You're using it, a new printer, I can write that off. If I go to lunch with one of my customers and I pay for her, I can write that off. Save your receipts. Traveling, if you travel somewhere and you talk to somebody about Juice Plus, you can write off the travel expenses. There's a lot of benefits, but only if you're, tracking that correctly. And we've got some good tax documents or some audios that I can put into our DMO chat, because I know that's kind of a question, like people are not sure. If you have somebody who is doing your taxes, make sure they understand what network marketing is, because they may not understand it as the type of business model that it is. And so you just want to make sure that that's clear. So just kind of keep that in mind as taxes come about. And then the second part of it is that we're often working from home. So yes, that's true. We often work from home, but like I've said, we have a home-based business, but we can't just stay at home, because we need to be out in the community. We need to be out networking and talking to people, right? But it's up to us to make sure that happens, because we are independent. And now I can't find my paper here that I was looking at. So make sure that we're, really networking from our computer. What would that look like? That's going to look like social media. That is a way to market. You're putting yourself out there, you're putting your product out there, and it needs to be both. We've talked about this before, but really finding 5 different areas that you want to post about. So it can be family, it can be faith, it can be your dog, it can be health and wellness, and it could be exercise, or like if you love crafting, I don't know, whatever it is, like 5 things, and then you rotate them. On your story, like on Facebook, you can post often about Juice Plus, like even daily. The stories are just a little bit different. On your wall, it kind of gets annoying. So you want to make sure you're doing all 5, but stories are easy to scroll through. People will just want it. It's like a quick glance. Okay. So you can do that almost daily. And again, if you guys want ideas, go with Jill Wagner's system where she texts you every morning. It's so easy. Like, it's $10. It's an easy yes to me. I don't even have to think about it. I don't always use hers every day, or I might tweak it, but it definitely is one less thing I have to think about. So networking on social media is also about starting conversations. So it's still person to person. It's not like you just always have people just coming back to you and saying, hey, can you tell me about that product? Sometimes that does happen. And I just had somebody, never had a conversation with her, and she sent me a message and said, hey, I want some information about those supplements you sell. I had no idea. I don't know her. I know her, but I don't interact and connect with her much. So that's what I would say is just make sure you're having those person-to-person conversations just the same. And it can't just be putting information out there and not conversating with anyone else. And if nobody is seeing your posts, there's algorithms and things that have to be kind of woken up so that people see that. And if you're not sure what that is, I know there's lots of information in boards, but it's really just about interacting. Facebook wants to see that you're interacting with the people that you're friends with. So liking their posts, putting a heart on their posts, commenting on their posts. They want to see that you're relevant and that people are commenting on yours. So if nobody's commenting on yours, you need to think about why. It's not appealing to them. People aren't seeing it. At best, 8% of your friends will see one post at best. And that's if you're really active, right? So you think you post and all of your friends see it and nobody's liking it. It's probably not the case. If you haven't woken up those algorithms, if Facebook doesn't see you as relevant, they're not going to show your post to other people because you haven't been interacting either. So it can't just be a passive posting every once in a while. It really is something to be worked on. And Kristen Boss talked a lot about that at conference in her social selling training. Okay, so then a network marketing business may require you to build a network of business partners. So that goes right along with how we talk about, partnering with us with Juice Plus. So again, I'm limited to how many people I know, but I know that, my neighbor Sonia, she knows people and has connections in her family. I don't know them. I can't reach them without her. So bringing her on as a partner helps me market to her network of people. And then salespeople, I would say our business partners are our salespeople because they're the ones that, market through their network of people, and that assists with lead generation and closing sales. So closing sales is going to be on us, right? Let's just end with that. If we don't ask people, hey, would you like to get started with Juice Plus? We're just going to be sort of like a resounding gong. I think of that verse in the Bible. Like, I don't want to just be a resounding gong making noise and not having any production from that and not getting customers. I can't help them until they start taking Juice Plus. Like, I remember thinking that I'm talking to people, but nobody's ordering. Why aren't they ordering? That was at the beginning. I can't help them if they don't have the capsules in their body. Like, that's what's going to make a difference. And from that, it was really connecting into the system that we have. So there is a system. We've talked about this before too. Like, you start a conversation with someone, you share your story, they show interest, you really listened to them, tapped into what their need is, and then you share a resource with them, a video, an audio, an event that you're doing, some sort of resource that's going to help back you up and that's going to reinforce what you said, and that they're going to make that decision not just based on you, but also what the doctors in the video had to say as well. So we connect them to a resource, and then it's a series of follow-up. We can't just send the video and then nothing, right? Like, it just isn't going to work that way. It's not how the system works. It's not how the buying system of our brain works. It's just not. It's a series of exposures where we go back and we ask them, and we might have to invite them again. It's all going to be about their timing, but we can't leave them hanging. And then we want to ask them, how can I help you get started? Is there anything else you need from me before we get you started? And I've got some good verbiage that I'll be able to send you guys as well. Let me see if I can find it in my notes here. And I may have already sent this to you guys, but it was just kind of some verbiage to really work on. Oh yeah. Okay. So this can be, you can tweak it, but you could use it for the last week of the month. So between Christmas and New Year's. I don't know if I sent this to you guys already, but it says, hey, I know it's a crazy week between Christmas and New Year, that we often reflect, adjust, and plan our health habits for the upcoming year. So I wanted to reach out to see how I can help you on your journey. I know that we've spoken about Juice Plus, and I'm curious if you've considered adding it to your daily routine this year. And then I would just stop there, like keep it short, because remember, I don't know, even that is long. I don't know if we can like shorten that, because it comes up on somebody's, especially if they have on the watch and they see the text message. If it's long and it doesn't really, demand a response, they tap it to come back later and you're already out. So how can you keep it short? Like, I hope you ask some, just like one question to get them to even look at it and respond. And then you could always go on with some more of this and like start the conversation. Keeping in mind the age 4 through 26, always eat Juice Plus for free. I personally take the trio capsules and the omegas, but you can get started with any combo that best fits your needs. Do you need any other information from me to get started? So I wouldn't send all of this at once. I would use this as a framework to start some conversations that last week, but you could even start sending this now. And I know Juice Plus is going to give us some information about the Jumpstart to Better Health, I think is what they're calling it. A program sort of like Shred 10 that has all of those components, but some really great resources that we can use. They're going to be announcing that to us as leaders on Thursday. So we'll be able to pass that information out to you. But remember, people are already thinking about what they're going to do for their, New Year's resolutions that don't stick anyway, right? But like, what are they going to do for their health? So we want them to come back to us. We want to be forefront in their mind for them to come back and say, oh yeah, I know that I can reach out to Nancy. She's got this supplement. I'll just ask her what that is. And people want to do business with people that they like, know, and trust. So are you building trust with people? Do people like you? Do they know you? Do you share who you are? And social media is an easy way to get that information out there. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. Do you have any questions for me? Anything else anyone wants to add?
Hey, Stacy, you always spur so much in this conversation and such perfect timing for us. And I just want to remind people too, we have 3 weeks left of the $22 to become a partner. And so, if you can paint that picture and all the bonuses they can make, the extra Christmas money they can make before the end of the year, that's very attractive. And then I just wanted to also, when you talked about when people ask you what you do, Jim Rohn, who is no longer alive, he said that all the time. He said, people ask me what I do, and I'm going to say I'm a nurse. First, that's what they're going to talk about, and that's what they're going to ask you about. So be loud and proud of what you do as an entrepreneur, and that you help people with their health.
Yeah, especially this time of year. You want that to be like what they're thinking of, not Stacy's, a great corn grower. Like I'm not a great corn grower, but like, that's not what I would want them to think about. Cause I don't want them to ask me about growing corn. That's not going to be helpful to them. Right. Like I want them to ask me about what area can I actually really help people the most in? And that's health and wellness. Yesterday, my girls and I sold baby dolls at a market because we're always doing a lot of crazy things. You can look on my Facebook page. But we sold these dolls, and there was a couple that I knew from when I was very young, and they came by and they were talking to us, and they were just asking like, so is this your business? And I was like, just every once in a while we want it to be. And we were talking, I said, but really my passion is health and nutrition and helping families simplify that. And I said, how are you doing on your health goals this year? What do you guys have this next year? What are you thinking? And they both said, we're failing terribly. And I could tell, I could see they were very much overweight and they just looked worn out and tired. It's like, I can't leave them there. My passion is not dolls. It was fun, but I'm not helping anyone, like not really selling those, right? Like it's not a lasting impact. And it's not what I want them to think that this is what I do. I help people regain their health. Like we have some amazing transformation stories. Don't forget that, guys. Like we are impactful. What you do is really good work. It is really good work that makes a difference in people's lives. And I was like, I can't leave them thinking that I just sell dolls. I don't. I am so much bigger than that, so much deeper than that, so much more than that. And I can't let them think that. And so they were like, oh yeah, you do sell those supplements. I got her information and I will invite her to the next event. I don't even know if she wants to be invited, but I know she needs it. So I'm going to invite her until she says, I don't want to be invited, or until she comes, right? Anyone else want to add anything? No, we're all quiet. All right, well, let me end this then. Thank you guys for joining us.